Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Black Four-Leaf Clover, from Check-In. Chapter 31. This explosion is really powerful. It would be dangerous if it was in the center of the explosion. Magic Emperor wiped his forehead with a dry smile. However, for his level, it was actually just a little troublesome. Okay, Kuroba, if it's okay, I want to continue testing. Magic Emperor said again. This time, you only need to control the magic power with your left and right hands at the same time. Solid and Nebra, there was a hint of watching the show on their faces. The misoperation that happened just now undoubtedly allowed them to find a little balance in this refugee genius. It seems that as long as they see another mistake, they can refresh their sense of existence. No, Master Magic Emperor, I want to try again as before, maybe I have a way to achieve magic fusion. Kuroba said suddenly. You have a way. Magic Emperor couldn't help being startled, even Nozel and others were no exception. Kuroba, whether it is magic power, magic pressure, or magic attributes, you are enough to be called a genius, but there are some things that require experience. Nozel reminded. At first, he was somewhat resistant to Kuroba's refugee status. However, the series of events that happened just now, as well as the refusal of the Magic Emperor's exceptional offer, also made Nozel look at him with admiration. No, I thought of a method and wanted to try it out, please trouble Magic Emperor. Kuroba insisted. The Magic Emperor's eyes flickered, and he immediately smiled and said, since you have an idea and a pursuit, then I will accompany you crazy once. Regarding Kuroba's insistence, Magic Emperor knew that even without him, Kuroba would still try. It's better to be a favor, and I also want to see what kind of confidence Kuroba has, so he persists. Let's get started then, Kuroba said with a smile. He also wanted to test the ideas that came to his mind, and it would be worthwhile to have the Magic Emperor as a training partner. The Magic Emperor nodded in response, and this time he was obviously more serious. With the surge of magic power in his right hand, the magic book flew out, and the page was opened, and the golden light turned into a sphere, enveloping Kuroba again. Feeling the surge of more abundant magic power inside, Kuroba took a deep breath and closed his eyes. HMPH, you ignorant person, I'm waiting to see you fail. Nebra couldn't help muttering. For the changes that Kuroba brought to Noelle, it made her hold a grudge. However, Nozel quickly drew warning eyes. Regardless of whether Kuroba is successful or not, he also wants to see the enterprising spirit of the younger generation. Hum. The hum of the air suddenly sounded. Kuroba's closed eyes suddenly opened, and the frosty magic power in his right hand surged wildly, spiraling up like a whirlpool. The speed of rotation is getting faster and faster. Single attribute magic power. He didn't have a temporary stage fright, did he change his mind? Nebra couldn't help but said. Nozel and Magic Emperor couldn't help but also frowned. In their eyes, Kuroba had made a vow just now, and it was impossible for him to back down at such a juncture. However, as soon as this idea was born, crackling lightning flashed around Kuroba's fingertips. The next moment, the closed eyes suddenly opened, and the left hand was slapped towards the frosty sphere like lightning. Boy, are you crazy? Master Magic Emperor, stop him quickly, the collision of two magic powers will cause a runaway. Nozel cried out anxiously. Magic Emperor's complexion also changed slightly, and he was planning to imprison time. However, when he met Kuroba's firm gaze, the movement was noticeably slower. Hum. With this slight pause, the thunder light on Kuroba's fingertips directly pierced into the sphere. With the acceleration of the movement in the hand, the lightning attribute magic power is injected faster and faster. After everyone reacted, a golden and white sphere bloomed in Kuroba's hands like a ghostly star. On the surface of the sphere of ice crystals, the power of endless and violent thunder was crazily compressed within it. Under the balance between the two, there is an inexplicable and terrifying aura of danger. It made everyone outside the time sphere feel inexplicable horror. Isn't this riding too fast? He was still saying a moment ago that this was an impossible attempt, but Kuroba turned around and slapped them in the face without even thinking about it. Moreover, the degree of stability, as well as the idea of conception, is not as simple as one class and one class. Magic Emperor, you can withdraw the golden ball of time. Kuroba breathed a sigh of relief. This is his attempt to imitate Huo X Chuan's method of making balls. I didn't expect to walk in the door with 1 foot. According to Kuroba's vision, it is not possible to fuse the two kinds of magic power at the same time, so they should be synchronized step by step. Even Tihon in Naruto can do it. Kuroba doesn't believe it, as he has the ultimate magic control. Can't compare to a Tai Han. Therefore, Kuroba succeeded and developed this alien version of meatballs. Watching the Magic Emperor withdraw the magic with a face full of surprise. Kuroba's eyes fell on a rocky mountain more than 10 meters high, 1,000 meters away. The moment the muscles in his right hand tensed, the thunder light suddenly shot down. The 5 fingers of his right hand clasped together abruptly, and threw the alien version of the ball with force. He just wants to try now, how far this meatball style, which can reach the finale in Huo-X, can reach in this world. Boom. The moment the ball was released, the air seemed to be pierced with a bang. Wherever it passes along the way, large air ripples are stirred up. The speed is so fast, under the acceleration of thunder and lightning, it is like a horse running through the sky. Under the astonished eyes of everyone, he smashed his head on a rocky mountain more than 10 meters high. Boom. The thunder exploded with a deafening sonic boom. The crazily compressed ice and lightning collided in an instant. With the dazzling light blooming, the violent breath rolled back like a raging wave. Wherever it passed, the ground was instantly frozen, and there were endless violent thunder arcs, smashing everything like a sharp needle. The aftermath of the impact was so fast that it instantly covered a range of hundreds of meters. Unabated, it attacked Kuroba and the others. Feeling this terrifying aura, the Magic Emperor's expression changed suddenly, and the magic power in his body poured into the magic book like money. Time-constrained magic, wall of lag. The endless golden light formed a golden city wall tens of meters away from everyone. The next moment, the Magic Emperor yelled anxiously, "Cobb, quickly teleport us away." The gate of space. Cobb woke up suddenly. Seeing the explosion storm that slammed into the Time City wall, he hurriedly opened the space gate. The people who witnessed this scene turned around and threw themselves into the space gate without having time to think about it. With the closing of the light gate, the wall of time made a crisp cracking sound. The moment the cracks in the spider web spread, he was finally overwhelmed. It shattered like a mirror. The power of ice and thunder, like a raging wave, instantly submerged the place where Kuroba and others were standing. After everything returned to calm, Kuroba and others, who were transferred to a distant place, arrived with magic brooms one after another. Upon entering the scene, the pupils involuntarily contracted. Even Kuroba clicked his tongue. The rocky mountain of tens of meters in the center of the explosion has already turned into droplets and collapsed on the ground. The mountains and forests with a radius of hundreds of meters were also destroyed and directly razed to the ground. Even the stone forest land a kilometer away from them has also suffered a devastating blow. A large number of mountain stone cones were smashed down the middle. Those 3 8-way generals who were killed by Kuroba and left behind their corpses have no bones left. It can be said that from a bird's eye view, a deep pit of hundreds of meters appeared in this huge rocky basin. And the shock aftermath radiation range of kilometers. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, who would have believed that such a destructive attack would come from a 15 or 16-year-old boy? Kuroba, I hope you don't use this kind of magic until the last moment, otherwise it will not only kill the enemy, but may also cause damage to your companions. The Magic Emperor said solemnly. However, he quickly smiled and said, however, with your current strength, someone can force you to use this trick. In the 4-leaf Clover Kingdom, I am afraid that there are not many people except for the 9 regiment leaders. Quote. For this evaluation, if he had not seen Kuroba's methods, perhaps even Nozel would be skeptical. Now it's silent. He may be able to take this move, but it will definitely not be easy. Based on this alone, among the 9 regiments, there must be a place for Kuroba. Hehe, Magic Emperor, you have underestimated yourself. Kuroba laughed dryly. What's more, there are still many strong people in the 4-leaf Clover Kingdom. Once we step out of the 4-leaf Clover Kingdom, the land outside is still too vast, and there are many strong people. Seeing Kuroba's reminiscence face, the Magic Emperor was startled for a while, laughed and patted Kuroba's shoulder and said, "You kid, your vision is not limited to the 4-leaf Clover Kingdom. However, since you have rejected my invitation and plan to pass the Magic Knight assessment step by step and walk towards the road of the strong, then I will not force you. Speaking of this, the Magic Emperor took out a medal and handed it to Kuroba, saying, "This is a magic medal. It has Cobb's magic and my time magic imprint. When encountering danger, you can input magic to activate it. Cobb and I will immediately inducted, will appear by your side as soon as possible. Of course, I don't want you to abuse this medal and rely on your own strength to become Magic Emperor." Magic Emperor. Kuroba raised his eyebrows when he received the medal. What's the matter? Could it be that the person I value doesn't have confidence? Magic Emperor said with a smile of interest. Sensing the slight hint of excitement revealed in the words, Kuroba couldn't help but roll his eyes. You have to talk a little bit, only a brat wants to be a Magic Emperor. If there is nothing else, I will leave first, see you next time in the capital. Abandoning these words, he didn't take a second look at Magic Emperor's stiff smile. The magic power was instilled under the magic broom, and Kuroba disappeared into the sky like an afterimage. Seeing that he was suddenly ignored by the person he valued, Magic Emperor couldn't hold back his old face, and coughed dryly. Just as he was about to change the subject, Marx's rapid voice sounded suddenly. "Master Julius, I finally got in touch with you." Marx's space photo appeared beside the Magic Emperor. The anxious expression made the Magic Emperor startled. "Marx, I just walked away for a while, why did you come to the door?" "I remember that when I was about to leave, I stamped the documents on the desktop, and I also went to greet the king. I also ate my meal and went to the toilet. Is there anything else important?" Looking at the Magic Emperor who ran the train as soon as he opened his mouth, Marx wanted to beat him up through the screen. However, the temperament of the Magic Emperor has long been known to everyone. After glaring at him, Marx said hastily, "Master Julius, just now Chershow came to report that a god-level alchemist may have appeared in our four-leaf clover kingdom. I hope you will come back soon to deal with it." God-level alchemist. Those present, not to mention Nozel and others, even the expression of Magic Emperor changed. Alchemists are very important in any kingdom. In the four-leaf clover kingdom, it is divided into elementary, intermediate, advanced, and god level. They may not be good at fighting, but they possess alchemy of inestimable value. Can create healing potions, magic equipment and more. As long as these medicines are used properly, they can greatly increase their survivability on the battlefield. It can also enhance the cultivation of talents in the kingdom and so on. Among the four kingdoms, the Diamond Kingdom is the best at researching and developing alchemy. Among them, mana can transform people, which is one of the important means for them to enhance the strength of the kingdom. Of course, all of this, in the original book, Diamond Kingdom gives people the feeling that anyone can destroy it. In the four-leaf clover kingdom, the strongest alchemist is the Magic Emperor who is directly under the recovery magician Owen. However, with Owen's means, he can barely reach the level of a senior alchemist. Now Marx suddenly announced that there is a god-level alchemist in the four-leaf clover kingdom. Does Owen know about this? Marx, this joke is not funny. God-level alchemist, that is a legendary figure. Let Owen know, but he will not let you go. Magic Emperor said seriously. However, Marx in the magic image quickly moved his face closer, and shouted anxiously, "Master Julius, if you come back and think that this is not made by a god-level alchemist, the head on my neck will be used as a chair for you to sit on. Anyway, come back quickly, or you won't be able to see him." Speaking of which, Marx directly cut off the call. This scene made the Magic Emperor, who was usually the only one who cut off the call at will, a little unaccustomed. "Master Julius, let's go back and have a look." Cobb leaned over and said, "I sent Princess Noelle back just now, but she consumed too much magic power, and I still need to ask Mr. Owen to treat her for a while." Hearing this proposal, the Magic Emperor was already a little excited, especially Marx, who unexpectedly cut off his magic call for the first time, which made the Magic Emperor even more curious. "Okay then, let's go back and see if there is a god-level alchemist in the four-leaf clover kingdom. If Marx dares to lie to me, I'll turn his head off." Magic Emperor waved his hand hint. "When you go back, remember to arrange people to take over here." General Bahui didn't even leave the corpse behind. However, I think they retreated decisively and didn't even take the corpse away. I'm afraid there is something tricky in it. Looking at the chattering Magic Emperor, Cobb had a headache. Quickly selected the space coordinates, tore open the gate of time and space, and sent away the magic emperor who had entered the chatterbox mode. As for Nozel and others, they came to the border to find Noel. Now that the person has been found, it is useless to continue to stay here. What's more, they are also interested in the emergence of a god-level alchemist in the four-leaf clover kingdom. After all, in the eyes of Solid and Nebra, this god-level alchemist is more important than the exiled genius just now. Perhaps, on top of this, I can regain a little bit of psychological balance. With the departure of the crowd, the magic gate suddenly closed. The huge ruins of the battle fell into an inexplicable silence. Two black shadows quickly swept over from a distance, and finally suspended in midair, staring at the deep pit below, revealing a dignified look. I didn't expect such a powerful existence to appear in this borderland. The magic wave remaining here has reached the first level of the superior. That is the level of the leader. We can't stay here any longer. A hoarse voice sounded. The woman on the other side nodded, and also chose the right direction to quickly escape from this place. I didn't notice it at all, and there was also a masked figure standing in a corner not far away. Looking at the traces of the battlefield in front of him, a trace of coldness flashed across his face. Remember, this is a big variable, and it must be investigated as soon as possible. In the four-leaf clover capital, the castle tower where the magic emperor is located. Keelshow, you see that Lord Julius hasn't come back for a while, why don't you show me the potion again? Owen, who was wearing a white robe, a beard and flat glasses, rubbed his hands back and forth with a fiery expression on his face, said. Not long ago, Zirsho took Mimosha to force his way into the magic tower where he was. For Owen in the experiment, he was unhappy. Although the opponent is a nobleman, he is also the kingdom's #1 healing magician and alchemist. Usually doing experimental research, but no one dares to disturb casually. Once he really wanted to argue, he was justified. However, when he saw the alchemy potion in Chi Ershow's hand, he almost knelt down and called Dad. Just by sniffing, the magic power in the body is almost like breathing, giving people a feeling of wanting to die. According to his many years of clinical experience, this is definitely stronger than the magic potion he has seen in the past. Those who can refine this kind of potion are enough to be respected as gods. However, in the face of his questioning, Chi Ershow kept playing tricks again and again, insisting on waiting for the magic emperor to come back to reveal. This made Owen, who is an alchemist, feel like death. Oh, Owen, you are not beautiful like this. Chi Ershow raised the bangs on his forehead, and said with a smile, this god-level magic potion is an orphan, I can't give it to you. However, if you want to use it for research, I, Zirsho, will definitely have the beauty of an adult. The premise is that you want to do a bold experiment for me. Bold experiment? Owen was stunned for a moment, and hurriedly moved over, his eyes widened immediately. What? You are crazy. Owen looked at Chershow with a suspicious face. But looking at the potion in his hand, he gritted his teeth and nodded angrily. His thirst for knowledge about magic still defeated his rationality. However, after taking another empty bottle from Chershow's hand, he couldn't help but uncork the bottle and took a deep breath. Brainstorming. Owen staggered back a few steps, helped his forehead, and showed a really sweet expression. It feels like getting into the charming eyes. Happy up. Standing aside, Marks looked at Owen, who was usually mature, stable and serious, with a dazed expression. In the presence of a large crowd, he even got up and couldn't help but rubbed his eyes. Come here, bring me the original magic liquid from the laboratory, and pour it all into a bathtub. Owen came back to his senses a little, glanced at the empty bottle in his hand, and his eyes suddenly became hot. An empty bottle alone can have this effect, and the whole bottle, the sourness and refreshingness can be ascension to heaven. Pour the magic liquid into the bathtub. The students following Owen were stunned. A bottle of magic liquid, that is a gold coin. If it is used properly, it can also create magic potions such as primary recovery and magic enhancement. At that time, it will be worth at least 5 or 6 gold coins. For Owen, who has always been stingy, this approach is simply cutting his flesh. Why don't you go? It's embarrassing, my old man. Owen glanced at him pretending to be displeased. After taking a sip, regarding Chershow's bold idea, he also wanted to give it a try urgently. It can be said that this is absolutely pursuing the truth. Although the truth this way is a bit expensive. I know. Since it was the teacher's order, the students didn't dare to refute it, so they could only bite the bullet and brought in a bathtub that was 30 centimeters high and 15 centimeters wide. At the same time, like a pain in the flesh, he poured all the magic liquid into it. Hey, Owen, why are you here? It seems that Chairshow made this move, but even you were alarmed. Where is the god-level alchemist? As soon as the space door opened, Julius waited for the big sparkling eyes and scanned around. However, after seeing the familiar faces all over the body, he immediately flashed to Owen in surprise, and hurriedly grabbed him, patted his shoulders with his big calloused hands, and said with a big smile, "My old friend, I guessed a long time ago that in the four-leaf clover kingdom, the person who can appear as a god-level alchemist must be you, and I knew you were hiding it from me just now. Don't worry, I'll go to the king immediately and raise your salary. Let's take a walk around Red Light Street at night to celebrate for you." Nozzle and the others, who had just gained a firm foothold, were also shocked when they heard this. If Owen really reaches the level of a god-level alchemist, his status will rise, and he will definitely be able to sit on an equal footing with their three royal families. At some levels, they can still overwhelm them. Seeing the excited Magic Emperor, Owen's old face stiffened suddenly, and he hesitated and said, "Master Julius, you killed me. If I were a god-level alchemist, I would have kicked you out a long time ago." "Me too, I learned from Chairshow that a great god has emerged from the kingdom of four-leaf clover." Keelshow. The Magic Emperor looked at Chairshow in confusion. Even Nozzle and his team were no exception. After all, they came here for the legendary god-level alchemist. If there is only one happy moment, Chairshow will definitely be strangled to death. Ahem, everyone looks at the beautiful me with murderous eyes, that's not beautiful. Chairshow coughed dryly. "Mr. Owen, what do you think of this magic potion?" "Of course it's powerful." I took a breath, but all the cells in my body seemed to be breathing. Owen was startled, and nodded in response. Hee, even Mr. Owen, who is a senior alchemist, said so. "Then this magic potion is too beautiful." Chairshow picked his bangs, and said proudly, "I plan to use these magic liquids, bottle." What? The people present were dumbfounded. Soak a bottle with precious magic liquid. Isn't this the same principle as washing feet? Hee, looking at your expressions, you're really not beautiful anymore. Ziershu confidently snatched the magic potion bottle from Owen's hand. "This is a bottle containing god-level medicine. Do you think it is made of ordinary materials? To keep the medicinal properties of the potion from volatile, this bottle must have a special effect." The Magic Emperor was taken aback for a moment, and said, "That's why you poured the magic liquid into the bathtub. Why don't you test it first?" "Test?" Chairshow waved his hand with a smile, and said, "I have witnessed miracles with my own eyes, so of course there is no need for a test. I'm going to try it now." While speaking, Ziershow threw himself down beside the bathtub, and threw the wine bottle into it with his backhand. From time to time, I still take the brush next to it and mess around in the empty bottle. Seeing this scene, Mimosa also looked embarrassed. "Okay, Marks, come over and have a taste. I heard from Owen that the magic power in your body has been weak lately." Ziershow took a wine glass, filled it a little, and looked at the bewildered Marks. Of course it's you, is it still me?" Owen glared and said, "Last time, I didn't seem to have sent you your treatment bill. Let me think about it." Don't think about it, I'll go right away." Marks took the glass, reluctantly, drinking the water from the pot. Thinking of the high bill, he squeezed his nose and poured it into his mouth. The medicine entrance was poured into the stomach. The next moment, the sound of the air vibrating suddenly sounded. A huge amount of magical power exploded like a frenzy. White light came out of his body. Looking at Marks from a distance, he looked like a light bulb over 100 watts. My magic power has not only recovered, but also increased by several points," Marks said with a face full of shock. Just now he watched with his own eyes a large amount of magic liquid being poured into the bathtub. These original liquids are expensive, but without the final quenching infusion, there is not much definite effect at all. If you have to explain it, you can make this change in the magic liquid. It's definitely related to Zier repairing the bottle and brushing the pot just now. Haha, I also feel like I am younger. The current effect of this magic liquid is at least at the level of the second highest potion. Owen couldn't hold back his thirst for knowledge, so he picked up a big bowl and poured it directly. The magic power that was dormant in the body was instantly activated, and it came out directly through the body. Feeling the abundant magic power, even her cheeks became rosy. It felt like he was drunk at all. The Magic Emperor, Nozel and others were stunned. If they talked about Marx, they could still think he was crazy. But Owen is the chief alchemist of the Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom. What he said was authoritative. Of course, they can't be blamed for this, holding a bottle of water, drinking it and screaming. The products produced by the system must be high-quality products. This potion is evaluated by the system as a high-level magic control potion. However, that is an existence that is infinitely close to the divine grade. What's more, the eyes of the system are not comparable to the general public. The definition of medicine is simply superior to others. It can be said that Irving's ability is used to evaluate. This bottle of native potion is absolutely divine. The large basin in front of me, the sub-highest level of magical potion, can be called a miracle produced by a bottle. Owen, are you sure this bottle of potion is from the hands of a god-level alchemist? Magic Emperor hurriedly asked after tasting it carefully. Master Julius, you are questioning my professional ethics. Owen pretended to blow his beard and stare. I can guarantee it with the head on it. However, I advise Master Julius, you should hurry up and take the sealed potion in Chershow's hand and study it for me, maybe there will be some major breakthrough. Also, if possible, recruit that god-level alchemist into the Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom as soon as possible. If successful, the strength of our Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom will rise several levels. Seeing Owen with a drunken face, who was not afraid of breaking the cowhide, the Magic Emperor was also stunned. He knew very well that this old friend would never lose the chain at a critical moment. Given such a high evaluation now, then even if he wants to tie this god-level alchemist who appeared in the Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom, he will tie him back. Keelshow, where did you get this magic potion? Where is the god-level alchemist? Take me to meet him quickly. Faced with the future of the Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom, the Magic Emperor couldn't hold back anymore. Even Nozel et al. Are no exception. Chershov was startled, lifted the bangs on his forehead, and said, the way you look now is really not beautiful. Nozel, didn't you meet Noelle? The boy gave her and Mimosa the god-level magic potion respectively. You all missed a beautiful scene. After Noelle took the magic potion, he not only controlled a huge amount of magic power, but also made breakthroughs one after another, directly unlocking the three major sources of magic. That posture is simply too beautiful. Looking at the narcissistic Chershov, he slowly told what he saw. The Magic Emperor is dumbfounded. No, it should be said that even Nozel and others were confused. They never imagined that the revered god-level alchemist would stay with them not long ago. Most importantly, Noelle, who has always been a joke of the royal family, was able to explode in a small universe in a short period of time, which turned out to be a miracle drug. It's still a whole bottle, which is a waste of money. Master Julius, did you meet that teacher just now? Why didn't you invite him back? Owen showed a distressed expression. Also, Noelle is really reckless. Such a god-level potion must be used at its most powerful effect, but it needs to be taken with other medicines. If it is used properly, with her magic power, it will not be a problem to break through to the first-class magic power in one fell swoop. Looking at the resentful Owen, the Magic Emperor looked helpless. If I had known earlier, that kid is not only an outstanding genius, but also a god-level alchemist. Bring him back. Thinking that not long ago, I let a great god out with peace of mind, this stepping on the horse is just too hardy. What if you were poached by other kingdoms? What if you think they were not polite enough to receive them just now? Facing Kuroba's departure, what if the number of Magic Emperor suddenly became 100,000? Hey, Boss Julius, it seems that I happened to hear something bad. A lazy voice came from behind the curtain. It quickly attracted disdainful glances from all around. As for the leader of the Black Bull Regiment, known as the bottom of the 9 regiments, who claims to be sabotaging as soon as he leaves the mission, they obviously knew that he was hiding here to eavesdrop. It's just that as the head of the Magic Knights, the Magic Emperor didn't take the initiative to point it out. They obviously didn't care. However, this bearded scumbag, who chose Yami to emerge under such circumstances, obviously had ulterior motives. He looked at Yami, who waved his hands casually, and after saying hello, walked straight to the bathtub. Owen reacted immediately and stopped in front of the bathtub. Yami, what's your plan? Everyone knows the destructive power of the Black Bull group. Especially the man in front of him. Once he got angry, he was in a posture that even dared to cut himself. Hee, old man Owen, some younger brothers in my group have indigestion. I just plan to get some food washing water for them to go back. Go away. You owe me 3 years of medical expenses. Even if this is food washing water, you don't have any share. Also, pay the bill quickly. Regarding this stubborn thorn, Owen is completely explaining what an old hen is to protect its cubs. Seeing Owen, who was about to run away, Yami pretended to yawn and quickly changed the subject. Boss Julius, that kid will appear again, right? As one of the heads of the 9 regiments, the salary is very good. However, the trade of losing every bet is comparable to that of Big Fat Pig Tsunade. Just escaping creditors every month is pretty good. The runaway Owen, Chairshow, and Mimosa couldn't help but startled, and subconsciously looked at Magic Emperor. Hee, it seems that everyone is very interested in Kuroba. He rejected my proposal to be included as the team leader. If there is no accident, he will participate in the assessment of the Magic Knights in 3 months. Magic Emperor resumed his usual routine calmly, said with a smile. Anyway, their 4-leaf Clover Kingdom has already had a handover of fate with Kuroba. As soon as he took the shot, he gave Nuo Al and Mimosa the god-level magic potion. Based on this alone, Magic Emperor firmly believes that Kuroba will definitely appear. At that time, this Magic Knight assessment and selection contest will be ahead of schedule and lively. Hee, this little brother seems to have a lot of backbone and a real temperament, just like me. Yami said with a smile without blushing or heartbeat. It's a good thing he didn't accept the boss's proposal, otherwise I wouldn't have had the chance to recruit him into the Bulls. I want this kid. Looking at the boastful Yami, Owen rolled his eyes. Master Julius, this is a god-level alchemist. How can we let him show his face? Our alchemy department wants it. Old man Owen, this is the Magic Knights assessment. Why are you joining in the fun? That kid and I have a very good temperament, and I, Yami, want it. No, the way you argue is really not beautiful, but our coral peacock exudes a beautiful atmosphere. He belongs to us. Looking at a mere refugee, he suddenly became a hot commodity. Solid and Nebra, who were still in shock and hadn't responded yet, subconsciously looked at Nozel. He firmly believed that as the noble knights led by the royal family, it should not add the slightest stain. However, the words that fell in their ears at the next moment made the two of them full of disbelief. I want that brat. A cold voice came from outside the door. Looking at the person coming, everyone in the field was stunned. Yo, Vengeance didn't expect that you, like me, like to eavesdrop openly. Yami put his hips on his hips and waved his hands in greeting. As Magic Emperor, the talents excavated together, Vengeance and Yami, can also be regarded as rivals of blind date. However, one of them is the head of the Golden Dawn at the top of the Magic Knights. One is the Black Bull at the bottom instead. The so-called competition should be regarded as a battle of wills. Seeing that even the head of the Magic Knights, who is known as the strongest and only recruits talented elites and outstanding status in the regiment, also fought for it. This made Solid and Nebra a little suspicious of life. Me too. Nozel's voice suddenly sounded, seeing that he, who has always been cold-tempered, and even the silver-winged vulture known as the Noble Group, unexpectedly made an exception to recruit a refugee. Even the Magic Emperor couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Before the assessment of the Magic Knights began, the heads of the various groups had already been fighting for it. When that time really comes, it is unimaginable what the scene will look like. HMPH, a group of people who join in the fun. No matter how much you rob, you will definitely not be able to compare with my bullfighting group. I already have a solution. HMPH, who is joining in the fun, why don't you hurry up and settle the bill for me, or the next time you have diarrhea, you won't be able to talk about it. Hey, Captain Yami, you are not so beautiful, Kuroba brother, but it belongs to our coral peacock. The scene boiled all of a sudden. Only after Vengeance and Nozel showed their ambitions a little, they gathered their fangs and quietly watched the fight in the arena. Hee, it turns out that vengeance is here too, so don't make any noise. 3 months later, the Magic Knights will be assessed. Whoever can abduct that kid will belong to him. Everyone will fight for it according to their skills. Magic Emperor laughed dryly. However, as the Magic Emperor, I still have to put my ugly words in front of me. Everything about Kuroba that happened today is forbidden to spread. No matter what the identity of the other party is, if it leaks a little bit, don't blame me for turning my face and denying anyone. In the end, the always approachable Magic Emperor had a bit of awe in his words. Rao Yami, who has always been big-hearted, couldn't help but change slightly. It was the first time for them to see Boss Julius being so serious. However, this is enough to see that Magic Emperor attaches great importance to Kuroba. Zero magic power, extreme magic pressure, dual attribute magic book, and the identity of a god-level alchemist. It can be said that those who get one of the auras are already geniuses. With all the aura added to the body, it is a monstrous existence. If you are a friend, you can live with peace of mind, but if you are an enemy, it is a nightmare that cannot last forever. Okay, if everyone understands, you can disperse on your own. After a slight pause, the Magic Emperor raised his hand to signal. As soon as the tense atmosphere in the arena dissipated, Yami couldn't help but rub the tip of his nose and looked towards the bathtub. Boss Julius, my little devil has indigestion, can you get some foot-washing water? FK, these things are rewards for those who perform outstandingly in the Magic Knights assessment and daily tasks after 3 months. If you want, be more serious about performing tasks in the future, and don't mess with me casually. Magic Emperor rolled his eyes. Yami picked his nostrils, ejected the dark object casually, then turned and left bored. Nowadays, foot-washing water is extremely expensive. If those geniuses know that they have to drink foot-washing water after winning, I don't know what expression they will have. It seems that we have nothing to do with our regiment, so we still have to find a way, how to snatch that brat into the bull's regiment. Hey, Yami, keep your mouth clean. If it's really foot-washing water, you'd be so keen. Zirsho, can you lend me this potion to study? Oh, Owen, you are not beautiful like this. This potion was given to my sister by Kuroba. No, it may be a token of love at first sight. Big brother, Mimosa's cheeks turned rosy to the extreme. Covering the hot cheeks with both hands, a groove appeared instead. Absurd thoughts flashed through his mind. If this is a token of love, what is Nuo Al's? Solid, Nebra, what happened today must not be spread to the outside world. Nozel warned blankly. Also, Nuo Al will move back to live in the royal castle starting today. I won't hold you accountable for your previous behavior, but I hope you will stop in moderation. Nuo Al's, the magical potential is the same as that of my mother. I didn't control her magic before. I didn't want her to take risks, so I let it go. But in the next 3 months, I will personally guide her. I hope she can become stronger. After entering the Knight's Order, have the ability to protect themselves. As a sister-in-law, Nozel is willing to play the role of the bad guy, threatening Nozel to give up his magic training and fall into the mortal world. Originally, it was not planned that Nuo Al would not be allowed to participate in the assessment of the Magic Knights for the rest of his life. Unexpectedly, a monster born out of nowhere with many halos would completely disrupt his wishful thinking. Seeing that Brother Wong, who used to be aloof and would never personally guide them, suddenly gave Nuo Al guidance for 3 months. This is completely unbelievable for Solid and Nebra. 3 months later, located in the capital of the Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom, an endless stream of people gathered from all directions. Most of them are teenagers of 15 or 16 years old. Each of the magic books on the wearer's waist is at the level of a clover. This means that they have superior magical talent. At the same time, he also has the qualifications to participate in the assessment of the Magic Knights and join the Magic Knights. It can be said that every year, at this time, for the entire Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom, it is like a celebration. In particular, the heads of the 9 Magic Knights guarding the frontier will also gather at the assessment site. Even the Magic Emperor will be present. It can be said that this is an unprecedented event. Standing behind the crowd, Kuroba sighed helplessly as he looked at the slightly congested queue in front of him. For 3 months, the system seemed to be misfired. No matter how many places Kuroba traveled, he never randomly appeared and signed into the task. It was only later that Kuroba learned from the system description that for random check-in tasks, only one mainline check-in and 2 random tasks will appear each time. This means that Kuroba, before completing the task of signing in at the assessment site of the Magic Knights, there will be no new random check-in locations in the system. This directly gave Kuroba a 3-month blank period. The only thing he could do was to practice the ice modeling magic and thunder dragon slaying magic for a while. If there is any harvest, it should be said that Kuroba is now stronger than it was 3 months ago. Those who participated in the magic assessment, please come here to gather. I hope everyone abides by the order, otherwise you will lose your qualification if you delay the entrance assessment. A shout sounded suddenly. Kuroba raised his eyebrows, looking a little rejoiced. I thought that this kind of chaotic queuing would delay a lot of time. Now there are people who specialize in order to come to guide them, but it can save a lot of time. Kuroba gathered with the crowd, glanced left and right, but did not find the 2 little kids shouting about being the Monkey King. Then quietly listened to the so-called rules. Hee, you are very interesting, you actually listen to these so-called rules seriously. A sudden laughter made Kuroba frown. If he remembered correctly, the person in front of him should be other than the 2 beautiful chairsho. The second brushes her hair, flashes her teeth, and likes the brainy bronze Saikai. Hello, my name is Saikai, a genius magician in Kaxi town. I am in the 4-leaf Clover Kingdom, and I have little reputation. I also know many seniors of the magic team. I think you are also from the edge of the country. If you need it, I can allow you to be my younger brother. Saikai stopped in front of Kuroba and said to himself. In his eyes, people depend on clothing and Buddha depends on gold clothing. Kuroba is dressed in commoner clothes, probably not as good as a commoner. This kind of youth who came out of the countryside is the easiest to fool. Seeing Kuroba who said nothing, Saikai was stunned, and quickly raised the magic book in his hand, saying, this is a rare Clover bronze magic book, both offensive and defensive. Okay, next, I will be in charge of leading your team. I am an active member of the Black Bull Regiment, a 5th-level intermediate magic knight, and a member of Vanessa. After talking about a lot of regulations, the magister in charge of counseling interrupted Saikai's flattery at the right time. After speaking, a figure descended from the sky. She has red hair, a slender figure, and skin as white as suet. And Shaosun was wearing red underwear, which made a group of people dumbfounded. Compared with the title of 5th-class intermediate magician, this benefit is too great. Big, home, hello, hiccup. Vanessa's cheeks were flushed, and she was still holding a wine bottle, which was already empty. Staggering, he raised his hand and greeted everyone. Looking at this alcoholic woman, Kuroba touched the tip of his nose helplessly. Gray from Fairy Tail. Gray has an aura of nudism from the moment he comes on stage. As for Vanessa, it's a 3-point style when she drinks. The 2 sides also have similar tastes. Of course, if you have a scumbag heart and plan to drink and pick up corpses. That's a pity, at least in the original novel, Vanessa is a woman soaked in wine jars. Can make you doubt life. The name of which is not comparable to ordinary people. Seeing Vanessa appearing in this way, the magician in charge of guidance couldn't help but have a headache. For those with high self-esteem, they couldn't beat the bulls who didn't play their cards according to common sense, and they couldn't make a fuss, so they could only stare at them. However, this picture is really delicious. For other people's sight, Vanessa has long been familiar with it, and after her beautiful eyes wandered around, she landed in Kuroba's direction. Little ghost, have you seen it? In the vast crowd, outstanding people will eventually be easily discovered. After all, I am so dazzling. Saikai couldn't help saying, teeth shining. After all, from this angle, Vanessa's gaze was clearly on him. Hey, that yellow-haired one, can you stop standing so tall? Is there a guy named Kuroba among you? Isn't he here? Damn leader, today is a celebration, you can drink with peace of mind, but you insist on letting me take the task. You looking for me? Kuroba frowned, meeting Vanessa's gaze. As soon as I heard this, I checked my eyes, and it was obvious that I met the right person. Vanessa hastened and staggered, squeezed into the crowd, and walked towards Kuroba. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, Kuroba's neck was clamped with his right arm, and there was an intimate biscuit attack. It smells so good. Seeing the violent scene, the people present couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. The large-scale vibration can be described as a paradise on Earth. If this is hell, I am afraid that many people are willing to risk their lives. Can you let me go first? And the clothes on your body, can you put them on properly? Kuroba gave a blank look helplessly. For this kind of intimacy, he has always been open to anyone who comes. However, in such a large crowd, there is a feeling of being watched by a monkey. Miss, if you want someone to pick you up, I'd be happy. I'm a young genius from Kaki Town, Saikai. Saikai hurried over. Get out, don't get in my way. Vanessa snorted coquettishly and hiccuped. By the way, I forgot what the leader ordered me to do. Oh, I remembered, he asked me to invite you to join our Black Bull Regiment. The small voice, as if filled with magic voice, made the huge city gate suddenly fall into dead silence. Seeing Vanessa playing cards out of common sense, even Kuroba was stunned. This kind of operation is completely skipping the assessment and poaching corners in advance. For the general public, it is completely beyond their cognition. Can I know why? Kuroba touched the tip of his nose helplessly. Originally, I wanted to keep a low profile, pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. I didn't expect outstanding people to be sedazzling everywhere. Life is helpless. Why? Vanessa shook her hand, and the wine bottle that had already bottomed out said, I don't know, but the leader of Yami ordered that once I see you, I will invite you here first. If you agree, my sister will meet with you tonight. You drink, you must be drunk. Quite drunk. A group of males present swallowed their saliva. In the face of quasi-drunkenness, as long as he is a man, he knows the meaning. Of course, this kind of temptation is almost zero for Kuroba. If anyone knows, this witch Vanessa, who lives in the wine jar, will definitely not be fooled by this. Boy, what are you still thinking? Come back to the Black Bulls with me. My sister has no wine in her hand, she is so uncomfortable. Vanessa continued to urge. The wave sandwich arm that had just been released was about to attack. Pieces of pink cherry blossoms rolled in without warning. In an instant, the entire city gate was covered. After everything returned to calm, there was a familiar face in the arena. Miss Vanessa, it's not beautiful for you to do this. Go back and tell Captain Yami that we have to follow the rules so that we can be beautiful. Zirsho flicked his bangs, showing a smile that he thought was beautiful. Because Miss Vanessa is drunk, I will lead the team next. By the way, Brother Kuroba, come to our Coral Peacock for tea when you have time, it's the best black tea. Seeing the deputy leader from Coral Peacock appearing suddenly, everyone was pleasantly surprised. Facing the routine of inviting him to drink tea, he was dumbfounded all of a sudden. This horse riding is different from Vanessa's move just now, except that it is a little more subtle, and it is different from poaching corners in private. As soon as the face appeared, it was scrambled by two magic knights. Dressed like a commoner, a boy with no taste at all. The newcomers present couldn't help but glance at Kuroba more. Saikai, who was still threatening to recruit Kuroba as his younger brother just a moment ago, couldn't help but slap himself. See if you are dreaming. When the dull bell sounded suddenly. With extremely penetrating power, it spread throughout the entire capital. The people who were still in shock woke up quickly. Chersho's expression froze, and he flicked his bangs and said, Brother Kuroba, the assessment of the Magic Knights is about to begin. It seems that the tea drinking must be left behind. However, I will replace the leader, and you are welcome to join Coral Peacock at any time. Speaking of this, Chersho's expression returned to normal, and after looking around, he said loudly, Next, you will participate in the assessment of the Magic Knights. Once you step into the venue, the assessment will begin. You have to remember that not everyone is lucky. If you want to win a good ranking and join a better Magic Knight order, then you must use your strength. Remember, not everyone can go through the back door. The awe-inspiring voice echoed in the field. The first half is full of inspiration and morale. If, without the last sentence, here are the people, will be full of enthusiasm and strive to move forward. However, it is precisely because of this. They were even more curious about what Kuroba, who seemed to be a commoner, was worthy of, so that the two major Magic Knights came to poach roles in advance. Not everyone can go through the back door. Then what confidence does he have to leave? Watching the field suddenly fall into silence, most of the eyes fell on Kuroba, and Kirsch flicked his bangs. I've said everything I want to say. Next, I hope everyone can pass the assessment of the Magic Knights. Of course, I also hope that some of you can also enter Coral Peacock. Let's go. After leaving these words, Chairshow turned and left. This stinky guy is more woman than me. Vanessa hiccuped, her beautiful eyes dimmed a bit even without the wine. Perhaps because he went to the assessment site of the Magic Knights, he flipped through the magic book in his hand, driven by the line magic, and directly staged what is called manual operation on the spot. That proud and graceful figure was directly covered up. Although it is still a miniskirt and a big tube top, it is obviously better than before. Okay, Brother Kuroba, follow me. Captain Yami asked me to take care of you, although I don't know why, but I'm here anyway, right to watch the show. Vanessa patted Kuroba's shoulder. Under the envious eyes of everyone, he led Kuroba forward. Saikai, who was directly shunned aside, gritted his teeth and followed quickly. As a young genius in Khaki Town, he needs to gain some sense of presence. Ding dong, congratulations to the host, arrived at the four-leaf clover capital within the validity period of the task registration. Please host, within the remaining 12 hours, go to the assessment site of the Magic Knights and check in for 1 minute. If you leave halfway, or fail to reach the check-in place within the time limit, it will be considered a mission failure. The task sign-in is successful, and the host will be rewarded by the system. The system's ethereal prompt sounded in Kuroba's mind. Hearing this long-lost voice, Kuroba smiled warmly. Without the cordial greetings of this old friend, it would be as boring as life without money. Under Kirsch's leadership, Kuroba and his party quickly crossed the central avenue. Looking at the end of the road, the huge round building that looks like a Roman arena. The pace of many people subconsciously accelerated, even their breathing was no exception. If it is said that the college entrance examination in the previous life determines a person's fate, then the assessment of the Magic Knights in front of us is no exception. Jackie Chan and adult insects, only look at the present. The original distance of thousands of meters was shortened to a few minutes by this group of upset guys. When Kuroba arrived at the entrance, many people had already completed the registration. Kuroba, it's me, I'm Asta. A figure squeezed out from the crowd. Compared with Asta, Yuno is obviously colder. However, looking at Kuroba's eyes, there is a little more fire. Kuroba, you are finally here. In the past 3 months, I have done a lot of practice. Look at me doing 100 push-ups without breathing. When Asta approached, he hung on the ground and did hundreds of push-ups first. This scene made Kuroba feel ashamed. If it was placed in the Fire X, it would be able to compete with Madokai. Kuroba, did you see, I'm going to become the Magic Emperor. After Asta finished warming up, he yelled vigorously again. Asta, there is only one Magic Emperor, so only I can do it. Yuno looked at Kuroba lightly. If your goal is also Magic Emperor, then we will be competitors, but I won't let you. Looking at Yuno, who is a bit cool on weekdays, when it comes to Monkey King, he seems to be on the top of his head, lowering his personality. Kuroba rolled his eyes helplessly, and said, take it if you want it. I don't care about it. Also, don't get in the way, I'm going to register. Leaving these words behind, Kuroba walked through the dazed Asta and Yuno to the registered magician. Brother Kuroba, come here quickly, I'll help you line up. Oh, Vanessa, you are not beautiful like this, I am waiting for Brother Kuroba. What are you looking at? It's not beautiful to be stuck here. Hurry up and go in. Don't say I didn't remind you. The assessment will start as soon as you step through the gate. Those hovering in the sky are repelling birds. Chi Airshow raised his bangs, trying to show the most beautiful side, and said. However, looking at the members of the two majestic Magic Knights, one of them is at the level of deputy head. Line up a new person in person. This shocked many people. Even Yuno and Asta are no exception. He is so powerful, he actually knows people from the Magic Knights. I knew Kuroba was not easy. Asta's eyes were shining with stars. No, Yuno, we have to go in quickly for the assessment, to impress Kuroba. While talking, Asta dragged Yuno and dashed in. However, looking at Kuroba passing by, Yuno couldn't help clenching his fists. No matter what you have experienced in the past 3 months, I will definitely surpass you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.